Welcome. In this video, we're going to create 100 ChatGPTs at once. We're going to create 100 prompts, but we're going to do it out of one prompt. What happens is I find myself very often creating a prompt in ChatGPT, copying and pasting, getting versions, getting the response, and then when I get like a prompt that's very good, that has all of the sort of structure of a prompt that I want, maybe it includes some examples, maybe it includes all of the pieces that I want AI to actually produce in the way that I want it to produce, I then need to take this same prompt. This one example is very simple. It is a couple sentences. But out of all of this, what I want to do is I want to take this topic, this save money here, and I have the whole prompt is great. And I can just copy paste this into a Google Doc or any text editor, take these two words, save money, and then replicate that, edit that to some other topic. And I love this prompt, right? In this case, I don't necessarily love this prompt. We have some work to do to it to make it really a great one-shot prompt. But the issue is once we get it to a one-shot prompt and I want to change this topic, how do I do that? And I think Google Sheets allows us to do this very well and not even care about copy and pasting and not care about editing this at all. We just have to come up with the topics. And I'm going to show you how to prepare that sheet. If you have not become a member yet, make sure you are a member and you can get the AI API app script that I'm using in this sheet. You can get it for not free. You have to pay to be a member. And if you're watching this video, you already have if you're watching this video on Better Sheets, you already have access to it. Upgrade Google Sheets OpenAI prompt to GPT-4. That's the app script that I literally took from my own video, from my own app script, I took and put in here. I'm just going to go over the options that I have. I am not using a role in this particular version. I am using GPT 3.5. I find that it is a little bit faster right now. It's May 31st, 2023. I'm using a temperature of 1. I want it to go a little different each time. Not a little. I want it a lot different. Max tokens, I'm only using 500 tokens here. Absolutely, you could use 1,000, 1,500 if you have larger prompts. But here's the issue with using AI and specifically OpenAI and this API call specifically in Google Sheets is that you have the way that I'm doing it with a custom function. We have only 30 seconds. It will time out after 30 seconds. So what I do is I try to keep the max tokens low and I do try to chain prompts. There's other videos here about chaining prompts. So taking the output of a prompt and then edit and then doing another thing with it. So that's not in this video. I am just going to go over this one thing. I have top P1, frequency 0, and presence penalty 0, just so you know what I'm working with in AI, GPT 3.5, and all this stuff. So all I have to do, I have created this function AI, custom function inside here. I just copy and pasted from that other video, that other sheet that Better Sheets members have access to, 100% access. You have access to the script and the sheet and the video. You can see how I upgraded it, but also see why I might have chosen not to put in a role here. But let's get back to this. What we're doing right now is we have this prompt in A1, and we have an answer, we have a response. And look, I can copy and paste this and I can go, instead of save money, I want to generate a Twitter thread outline for a thread about the best ways to earn income from Google Sheets. Let's say that. And now all I have to do is go to equals AI and then A2 in here and just reference that cell. And I'm going to get a response. I'm going to get a response within 30 seconds here. And if I don't get a response within 30 seconds, it's going to time out, give me an error, and I can work with it again. But this still is a little bit of a... You saw those steps. If I want to do this 100 times, I'm going to be sitting here for the rest of the afternoon and just typing, copy, paste. Cool. And I'm not reading this for the sheer fact of this particular video. I don't read through these. We're just going to get this response and say it's okay, especially with this kind of prompt. We might have a prompt that's way longer and we might use 1,000 tokens so that we get a really big prompt and a lot of examples and then get a very good response. But this is not part of the video. What we do need to do is clear up this text here. We don't want this text to be all the way down for 100 cells. What we want is we just want that topic. We want to be able to write that topic and come out with a response. So I'm going to delete the responses here, and I'm also going to delete everything except one prompt. I'm going to have one prompt, and I'm going to be able to edit this prompt as I wish and then get new responses. So what do we do? How do we do this? First off, we want to be able to put this save money part. Let's cut this and put it here and just have this be a basic little text box here. And then in this C column, in the third column, what we're going to do is we're going to write if if is blank, B1, meaning if this is blank right now, don't do anything. If the value is true, we're going to add another comma here. And now if it's false, meaning there is something in that box, B1, now do something. And what do we want to do? We want to do AI, and we want to do A1. And now this gets us exactly what we had before, except we don't have this is not going to be a correct API call because it doesn't have the word save money in it. It's just going to A1. How do we fix this? What we might want to do is instead of putting A1 here, actually, in addition to putting A1 there, we're going to write in here, instead of the actual topic, we'll put a little code. We're just going to make this up. We're going to have 2 square brackets and 2 square brackets, and we're going to write topic. And we're going to write topic in all caps. So this text, we will never type this text ourselves again. Like in writing a prompt, we won't ever insert that. So this will be unique for all of this prompt, is what I mean. It's like, this is a weird sort of syntax, right? We're never going to accidentally write this. If we wrote topic in all caps, we might accidentally write that. A topic, this topic, those topics, that'll be considered, you'll see it. But we won't ever, this is going to be unique. We won't ever see this again. Or we'll never type this again, right? On our own. We will actively have to put it in here. And then inside the AI here, we're going to call substitute. We're going to use the substitute function. And what the substitute function does is it searches A1. We're going to say text to search is A1. What are we going to search for? We're going to search for that code that we put in there. The 2 square brackets, topic, not topic, topic, and then end 2 square brackets. And we're going to end that. We're going to put that in quotes. Oh, I have an extra quote there. So we're going to put that in quotes. And we're going to say take wherever you find in A1 this topic. We're going to replace it, and we're going to add another comma, and it says right here, replace with. We're going to replace with whatever is in B1. So now this API call, and now if we take this out, actually, let's look at exactly what substitute is doing. We are getting, actually, let's put it in a space where we can actually read it. There. So now this is combining the topic, it's A1 and B1, it's combining them, because we're taking the topic in brackets and replacing it with whatever is in B1. What I like about this too is that this text in A2 that we see here, we don't have to see that. Once we know that this works, we don't have to look at this again. We don't need another extra column to see that these 2 things are combined. So it's all within this C column. And we can do things like take this A1 and put $signs in front of the A and in front of the 1, and that's all we need to do. Now what that does is it says if we move this, if we copy and paste this C1 to C2, the A1 is going to stay the same. The A and the 1 are going to stay the same. It's always going to reference A1. But the other things, if you notice here, B2 is blank and B2 is going to be replaced, means that we now can copy and paste this all the way down to 100. We're going to actually make 100. We're going to actually really do this. We're going to make 100 prompts today. And we're going to copy and paste this all the way down. So now every single one of these C column cells has a formula in it. And it's going to take whatever is in A1, take out topic with the 2 square brackets, and then put in whatever is in the B column. So we can say, instead of writing out this, instead of taking A1, copy paste it, take out the topic, replace the topic, we're going to do that by literally just writing the topic in B2. So generate a Twitter thread outline for a thread about the best ways to generate money from Google Sheets. And we can just start typing. We can just start typing different tactics, different ideas, not tactics, topics. We can create many different topics. Writing on Twitter as a solo, entrepreneur. And it's just going to generate this each and every time we hit enter the new topic. It's going to generate this. What we can do to make this a little easier to read is I'm going to center this text. I'm going to also make it a little bit wider. We're seeing that these text when it comes out is pretty big. This is a lot. Maybe I should decrease the tokens, make this a lot shorter. But these are a good amount of stuff to think about. So maybe it is good to have a lot of text here, but I am going to center this horizontally as well so we can see that topic very well. And we're going to write another topic here. And so I wrote 100 topics here. I did it obviously with ChatGPT. I tried to come up with 100 topics. The wording's a little weird, so we can look through this and edit it. And the cool thing about this, right, is you can generate a list of 100 things, little inputs or parts of this prompt that you want to do. Maybe you want to test with different examples. So you write a different example and then say, take this prompt and here's an example, and use 2 brackets and example. And now you have a different example, and then you're going to see what the output of that prompt is. One thing you might run into as you do this is you might get some errors. And those errors are going to be really the same, probably error most of the time. And I'm going to try to find some errors here. I have vegan baking, video game restoration. Here's some error. Here's an error right here. What does it say? Exceeded maximum execution time. So just like I said earlier, this function will have a 30-second limit. Now, you might think that's very limiting. You might have sat there at ChatGPT and watched something write for more than 30 seconds, and that occurs. So that's why I do try to limit this to less tokens to get a response back quicker. But all we have to do is edit this. So what we could do is 100%. We can just cut it, hit enter, and it's going to have a blank. Great. And now we can just paste it again and see if we get a response within 30 seconds. But we can also rewrite this. Maybe there is something about this input that is causing it to go over the 30-second limit. If you are writing a very in-depth prompt and then you have a very tiny input here, part of it, and you're editing just a little bit tiny, it's probably not going to change much. But if you have a large input here, which might happen, you might have a very small prompt, and you're like, I want to try big differences. Totally fine. What I would say is try making it simpler just to get it under that 30-second response. And see, all we had to do with this one is copy and paste it over again. It's fine. But with this paintball tactics and loadout customization, maybe there's like play paintball is maybe a simpler thing to do instead of these particular words. Maybe it's having a problem. It's not actually probably having a problem of completing what you're asking it to do. It's just having a problem to get it within that 30-second limit. That's the only problem here. So we're not necessarily saying that your prompt is problematic in any way. It's just going to take over 30 seconds. And this will probably come back. I'll actually pause the video and we'll come back in a second and see if this comes up again. Here we go. 10 seconds later, it popped up. And again, it might not be great to have to edit or simplify down this particular part of this input of the prompt, but it might be a way to get 100 things done. And we can look down here, and most of them are done. They have only some errors. It might also be because if you... Okay, so what I did is I went and got a bunch of topics and I copy pasted in here, like 10 or 20 at a time. And it's probably, honestly, like the 20th one in this list that's going and getting an error. That's a couple reasons. One, Google does have sort of a rate limiting of API access, this sort of API URL fetch, but each one of these is distinctly different. I do have a feeling, though, that even if you have different API calls, each one of these is a different API call. If you do 20 at a time, that final one or the last few are going to be problematic. So we can just run them again. Honestly, they're probably just going to be run again. All we have to do is edit this. Aquascape. Best ways to aquascape a freshwater aquarium design. Yeah, we just have to edit it, and this will probably load fine. We can see a few errors here, but I'm not going to continue working on these. You know how to fix them. Just edit the text or edit the prompt in some way. Now, here's a really interesting thing that I might not end up covering in this video, but I just want to point it out. Now you have 100 inputs for one prompt. You have 100 responses from this prompt. If I go back up to this prompt and start editing it, if I edit A1, it will redo every single one of these prompts. So I could have essentially 100 AI API calls or ChatGPT instances here. Now, in my app script here, I do not have a role message, so that's something you might want to add. You can probably add it on another column, or you can just say you want the same role for all of them. But check this out as well, is I'm only using one prompt or one message in the ChatGPT 4 and 3.5. This is a little different than the other GPT-3 call. The GPT-3 call was just, here's a prompt, give me the answer. We can add in messages here. So we can add to this app script and say, hey, include a message here, and then here's the last thing I want to give you. You can include the chats. You can say, I want column A to be the first message, column B to be the response, column C to be the second message, and column D to be the response, and then I'm going to ask another question. So what you could essentially do is along these rows, have a different ChatGPT running and an question and answer and the responses, and feed it back into ChatGPT each and every time as you go across. 100 times now. And what I've been discovering and also trying to figure out how to do, which I have not done well yet, is take each of these outputs of this 100 and now do something else with it. Now call again. If you want to do that, I'll start you off on the path of where I am now. There's 100 things here. I'm going to add a column to the right. I'm actually going to do 2 columns because I'm going to add column D here. And what column D is going to be is just checkboxes. Let's just do insert checkbox. We're going to vertically align those and horizontally align them too. And in E, I want to say, instead of taking this prompt A1, actually, I'm going to add another column here. I'm going to delete all of these checkboxes. I can write another prompt here and say, write a hook, a persuasive hook for this Twitter thread. I'm just going to write that. That's all I'm going to write. And now here, I'm going to say AI, take D1 and C1. That was the response of the last one, right? C1 is here. And we're going to, there it is, and it's loading. And here we go. We have some answer, right? This might not be a great answer. Write a persuasive hook in less than 50 characters. This might be terrible, but it shows you that we can edit this, and now we can take, we have some hash, we want to write for this Twitter thread. We're going to do this at the end. Write the hook for this Twitter thread. And then before this, write a persuasive hook in less than 50 characters. Do not include any hashtags. See, we can start editing this prompt to see this response, and we're going to get it here. There. Secure your financial future today. Learn how to save money. Cool. That is okay. It's probably not great. But why did I put this checkbox? It's because anytime I copy and paste this down, I'm going to have the answer right away. But if I do not have the answer in C1 yet, if I have not created the input for it, then it's going to run the AI call with the words loading or with a blank. It's just going to try to do an API call. So what, in the case of C1, in the C column, we said if B1 is blank. But if we do if C1 is blank, it's going to be blank. It's never going to be blank because there is going to be a formula there. There's going to be something there. So I added a checkbox here. Now, this might not be the greatest flow on earth. This is just where I am at this moment in time with how to do these sort of workflows and create gates for these. So we can write around AI if E1. And we just have to do E1. E1 is either going to be true or false. Checkboxes in Google Sheets are amazing. They're just true or false statements. It's just a visual representation of true or false. So if the value is true, if it is checked off, we will get AI DC1. D1 and C1. If we want a false, let's write a little message. Check off the box to get a response. That's what we want to say. And do we want to autofill? Sure. So now all of these say check off the box to get a response. We can center this up as well. Yeah. And now I think you might have noticed one thing is I did not make D1 the same. So I can add a $sign in front of the D and a $sign in front of the 1. And now copy paste this all the way down. And now E5, E1, and C1 will change to E2, C2, blah, 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 all the way down. And we have the same prompt. Now, what's cool too is we can take these prompts and move them to another tab altogether. We don't need to reference these cells on this same sheet. So to organize this in a little bit better way, we could probably put a little prompt sheet together and say, here's the first prompt, here's the second prompt, here's the third prompt. Take the response of this one prompt, put it in here. Take this response, put it in here. And we can now start, right, to create these processes and these flows across this 100 different ways with just executing a couple words, a few words of a different topic. We can write an epic one-shot prompt, change it with these inputs. We can get an output here. Then we can take this output and make another AI call here with a little bit of a checkbox, right? And the checkbox being a real check. We can look at this and we can say, is this what I want to do? Is this the correct response? Yes. If it is, check it off. I'm going to get that hook. Go to the next one. Here's an introduction, main points, conclusion. Do I like it? Yes. Check it off. I want the hook, right? We can go down, and if not, let's go and edit this input. Let's go edit the input to get the response we want, to then get the hook we want, to then get whatever. Maybe we then write the introduction based on this. We write the hook, then the introduction. Then we take the main point and create a tweet from it. Then take the second point, create a tweet out of it. We can harness ChatGPT and OpenAI's API all within the sheet in a very intricate workflow with these really cool, really simple Google Sheet additives, right? With a checkbox, with a if, with is blank. We can use this API call to do so many things. The world is infinite here, right? And we can write so many cool things here, and we can go down to like less characters. We can go up. We can start writing based on this tweet. Write a blog post with this title. Write a title. Create the slug for it. We can do all of these different things within here in this sheet at 100 times, right? This is crazy, right? And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are a Better Sheets member and watching this, you get this sheet down below. If you're watching this somewhere else, become a Better Sheets member today and get this sheet. With the sheet, you get the API access. You get, not the API access, you get the API call, the app script I've written. All you have to do is over here on the API key tab, put in your API key. That's probably the hardest part of all of this. And I hope you enjoyed seeing you can run 100 different ChatGPTs all at once inside one sheet on Google Sheets. Again, if you're looking just for the API in AppScript, it's in the video upgrade Google Sheets OpenAI prompt to GPT-4. So I did write one for GPT-3 first, and now this one upgrades it to GPT-4. So go ahead, grab it if you're a member, and if you're not a member, become a member today. You can see all the AI adventures here in Google Sheets and on YouTube right here. And watch the latest video from Better Sheets right here. If you haven't watched any other videos on Better Sheets, you are in for a treat. Enjoy.